Not every game is perfect. Sometimes you have promising concepts that don't come to fruition, sometimes corporate greed gets in the way, sometimes development troubles arise, and sometimes you need to remember you're playing a Kimco game, so it was slapped together in less time than your average game jam project. Usually when I cover these games for this series, they're games I have positive memories of, but also one or two really bad sticking points that walled me or are heavily requested challenges in video games that my audience wanted me to tackle. Neither of those statements apply to Everdark Tower. This was a game I got in a bundle and decided to give it a try to kill some time, and like most games developed by Kimco, it was pretty unremarkable as another slapped together cookie cutter RPG because Kimco doesn't make high quality games, they make passable 6 out of 10s with slightly above average writing, and if one of their games is genuinely good, it's almost certainly accidental. Even with all that being said, Everdark Tower might be the most unremarkable one of them all, or it would have been if not for an absurd difficulty spike so stupid I genuinely can't help but laugh. So I guess let's get on with the obligatory lead up to everything. The game begins with our hero heading to an island nation in order to find a way to make the sun rise once again as time has seemingly stopped for the world. Interesting concept, too bad it doesn't really get used for anything. Anyways, before we even make it off the boat, we get attacked by some angry fishermen and we have to kill them. Now, them being 3 and you being 1 seems scary, but really that doesn't make a difference because in this game, each side is essentially only getting a single turn, and it's just having the extra members just means they have more HP and they have more attacks that they have available. Though in this case, since it's 3 identical enemies, they all go down pretty much the same way, so just whack them till you win. And not even 2 minutes later, we make our way into town only to have to save a girl from a monster known as the Claw Chimera. The girl's name's Sarah, and she's grateful for our help, so she joins our party, so we then climb the lighthouse to face off with the creatively named Fire-Eating Bird. After that, we have our first point of no return as we head to the big city only to save a guy getting jumped by a kobold. His name is Collins and he joins us, so we head to the Everdark Tower, except we have to go into the clockwork side of things first to open up all the doors, and taking the side path to open its mechanisms, we have our boss fight against the gear and the gimmick. Once we reactivate the clock tower's internal mechanisms, we can enter the tower proper, but before that the town gets attacked by the Night Razor. This guy is a little bit tougher than the other opponents, but he's still not too bad, and realistically everything so far is keeping a decent enough pace in terms of the difficulty curve, so yeah, it feels pretty cool. And finally, we get to enter the Everdark Tower, only to immediately get hard stopped by the wall. So before I show you what the golem can do, I want you to guess how much HP he has. And before then, I'm going to show you how much health every boss prior to him has had up to this point. So, to start, the mermen have 225 HP. Not a whole lot, they're your tutorial battle. Next up, the Claw Chimera has 381 HP. The Flame-Eating Bird has 984 HP. The Wolfman shows a massive jump of 5 whole HP and has 989 health. Gear and Gimmick may not even count as a boss, but if they do, then they have 1992 HP. And last but not least, we have the Night Razor, who has far and away the most health at 2697 HP. Now, that is a total of 7,268 HP from every boss combined. So if I told you the Golem has more HP than every boss prior to it combined, how much do you think that's going to be? 7,500? 10,000 perhaps? No, you're wrong. The correct answer is 36,105! What in the actual hell is this game? That's more than 10 times the amount Night Razor had, whom we just fought not even 5 minutes ago. This is just straight up evil. Some fights are hard because of really complicated AI, or some really powerful move that a boss can use, and in terms of raw damage, the Golem hits hard, but he'll likely take 3 or even 4 hits to down your party. But he won't be struggling to do so because on a good day, you're looking at roughly 20 turns to beat him, and healing off the damage isn't as simple as it sounds because for some stupid reason, you can't use your supply of healing herbs in battle, so your only way to heal is having Sarah use Healing Flame, which has a multiple turn cooldown, or the singular mermaid scale in your inventory that fully heals you and gives you some really good buffs, but you only have one. And all the while, this guy has really high defenses, and I get it, they want to show how valuable status effects can be. But if that's the case, 10,000 HP would have been plenty, and even then that still would have been pushing it. Because as it stands, the only boss with more health than this random roadblock halfway through the game is the time-devouring dragon, also known as the game's final boss fight. And the weird thing is, I can't even really think that this was some goof up. If it was 36,000 HP, I would have expected maybe the devs accidentally typed an extra 0 in the code. But no, 36,105 seems pretty intentional. So what the heck are we supposed to do here? Well, the correct answer is don't play the game in the first place because it's not very good. But if you're truly a glutton for punishment and monotony, you have 3 options. With option 1 being the worst, and that's simply grind levels. Good luck though, because the enemies give pathetically low amounts of experience until after you kill the golem, which seems kind of bass-ackwards if you ask me. Option 2 is the stupidest but also the funniest, and that's to leave the game on and just walk away for several hours. Star points are a major part of this game, used for multiplying experience, opening optional and mandatory door locks, opening special treasure chests, and giving you a full party revive after a wipe, with the caveat that you're gonna need a lot of them. While you can't collect more of them in the dungeon outside of the ones that are already there, you can get an infinite number of them by just standing still and slowly letting them generate in real time, kind of like the sleep points in Bravely Default. Or you can just keep reviving yourself with your now limitless supply of full party revives. And strategy 3 is to simply go and buy out the entire world's economy of poison items as well as some defensive and buffing equipment, and get ready to stall like crazy because the boss is weak to poison. And that's about the only way you're going to get through this fight in any sort of reasonable manner. So we begin our battle, and for once the strategy is actually fairly simple to win. If you have enough stars, you can literally just keep reviving yourself as you slowly grind away at the boss, as you'll be able to fully revive and have all your skills available outside of low HP ones, and you can kind of just keep smacking away at him with reckless abandon. But if you don't want to go through something so mind-numbing, then don't play this game in the first place, because the other strategy isn't much better. The other strategy isn't much better, but it does at least feel like a proper boss fight here. You'll want to throw your poison bottles onto the boss. It's not guaranteed to land, but he's weak to the status effect, so once it procs, you can choose to do some attacks to speed up the process or just guard. The poison takes 5% of his HP every turn, so he'll die after about 20 turns of poison. He's also very weak to paralysis, so if you ever drop below half health, Collins can spam Rinse Strike to try and stun lock him if you feel like gambling. Otherwise though, it's a matter of letting the poison do its thing and chipping away at him, but it's not quite as easy as, okay, you poison him, now you win, because it only lasts for 3 turns, and your healing is kind of limited. Now, he doesn't hit very hard, but you want to be careful because for some unholy reason you can't use those herbs, you know, the basic healing item in RPGs during battle. So your only mid-battle healing items are, well, a singular mermaid skill you got at the start of the game, and if you've already used it, it's gone for good. Your other option is Sarah's Healing Flame, which recovers 60% of your health, but it has a multiple turn cooldown, so you need to be careful here. It's going to be a lot about managing your resources, essentially. Or, you know, you can just hoard it. Now, no option to beat this boss is fun. You either have to stall him out for several minutes, or grind for a few hours to cut through him, or let the game idle for several hours for the stars. Or realize that this game just sucks and it's not worth playing. Seriously, don't waste your money on this one, it's bad. I cannot emphasize that enough. And that's going to do it for this video. It's a lot shorter than some of my videos, but hey, not everything has to be a Gilgamesh level epic, and not every difficulty spike has to be for some super complicated reason. Sometimes the curtains are just blue, and sometimes the boss halfway through the game has too damn much health. And yet, it's the only thing noteworthy about a game that is otherwise so unremarkable. That's the quality you should more or less expect from Kimco though. They've got like 3 good games they've made, and I'm pretty sure they were by accident. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video and want to see more content of varying quality, consider liking, subscribing, hyping the video. I don't have a funny outro for this one, so here's a random meme I made for Gunstar Heroes.